Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll wait for more 2 minutes and I'll then start. So, those who did not join the last two classes, did you all get a chance to see the recording?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay. So can I have everyone on cameras, please?
Yes, good evening, Sradhanjali, ma'am.
Good evening, Shital ma'am.
How are you?
Not good, down with fever. Over here it's very cold.
Oh my God. Oh, that's why. Yesterday also I felt that you were having cold.
Yes, running nose.
Take care, ma'am.
Yes, going with all sort of colors.
Okay. Yeah, the Kara is best for this.
But it's so yuck. The taste and the
Yeah, it
smell
is
of
not
the
so
color is very
tasty. It is
bad.
not tasty. Taste is very bitter. Yeah.
Yes, it's bitter one. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Today we are going to have the third webinar on stress and anxiety management. So, any idea what is stress or what do you understand by stress?
Anything unusual which we are not ready to accept at that instance and we
Hmm.
react.
Okay. And any other thing?
Ma'am, stress can be any particular situation which can create a discomfort, which can be a physical, emotional, or cognitive.
Okay. So, then what is anxiety? Or is stress and anxiety same?
Ma'am, stress
No, ma'am.
give direction to anxiety. Anxiety includes other symptoms as well. Like in anxiety, we have palpitations, we can feel sweating, we can have hot or cold flashes, and other symptoms as well.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So, what exactly is stress? So, the content is given over here. But what exactly is stress? Stress is something like I won't say something, but it's a response to how our body react to any sort of challenges or threats or any demands. Now, for example, if I say that um, Before attending a meeting, I tend to have stressed or I am stressed out. So is it a stress or anxiety? Or it's if
Can
it is
you
before
repeat?
exam also, is it stress or anxiety?
Could you please repeat?
It's
It's
stress,
stress,
na?
ma'am.
Okay,
It's stress, ma'am.
stress. Okay, stress. Okay. So what I asked that before exam we tend to have some sort of fear or some sort of palpitation that क्या होगा मेरा exam पे. So what is that? Is it a stress or is it an anxiety?
It's stress.
Stress. Okay. And anything else? Anyone who
I
feels it's
think
your
it's anxiety. It's
okay, it's
anxiety, I
anxiety.
think.
Okay. Or anything one who feels that yeah, it's a fear or burnout.
Yes, ma'am, it's a fear as well.
Fear,
Okay.
yeah, fear also.
Okay, it's a fear. So how many of you all think that it's a fear?
Ma'am, I think it's a mixture of these things, na? Anxiety, fear.
Okay, one, two, Sneha wrote it is a mixture. It depends on person. Okay. Okay. So before
Ah,
jumping
yeah,
on to
yeah. It depends
all
on
these
person.
things, I would be making about the terms which are related with stress. Stress, anxiety, fear. Okay. Now what is stress? It's a
Okay, okay.
physiological response or the emotional responses, how our body react to any sort of challenges. Now stress is a sort of umbrella term. But what is fear? Any idea? So what is anxiety or what is fear or each is similar?
No, ma'am, it is not similar. According to me, fear and anxiety both are different.
Okay. Okay. So what exactly is anxiety? Anxiety is a feeling of worry or feeling of fear. But in anxiety, there is no clear reason for that. क्या होगा? Before the exam, I
Okay.
did not appear for the exam. I did not like receive the question paper, but still I'm getting a sort of palpitation. I am bending out. Yes, Neha, I'm coming. I am having. I'm feeling thirsty. I am feeling so much stressed over here. Uh, Wait, I'll take the question. Anxiety. Akanksha, you can start the recording. Anxiety is also, we can say it's about overthinking. Is it correct, ma'am? There is a difference between overthinking. I'll come. I'll come.
Ma'am, in
Huh.
anxiety, we feel fear also and worry also. I think fear plus worry, according to me.
Yes, fear plus worry. But in anxiety, there is
Yeah.
no clear reason. In
Okay.
anxiety,
Okay.
there is the only difference between fear and anxiety is in anxiety, there is no clear reason. But in fear, there is
Okay.
a reason. For example, the moment we see a snake.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me clarify one more thing. Now, if I talk about fear, fear is something which is very real and immediate. Abhi hoga. Like fear is right now. For example, if I would like to talk about one of a real life, I won't say real life, but one of our trainer, she was doing a course on somatic training. And it was an offline course. And whenever I was in the class, she was like, Shraddhanjali, class se nikal jao. I was like, bye, ma'am. And she said me, I fear that the moment you ask some sort of question and I'm not having the answer. She used to get a sort of feeling that what if not only me, but what if other could ask her question and she is not equipped to give certain answers. So that is fear. But because she has faced something, but it could be anxiety if she had not faced any certain like situation before. She is just assuming anticipation. Now if I talk about fear, there are only five certain sort of fear which are mostly responsible for making us fearful. Five core terms. I did not write it over here because it's a part of EFT. I did not write it, but still I'll tell it. So if you all want, you can write it down. I won't mind. So the first fear is fear of annihilation. Annihilation. It's very difficult for me to also to get the pronunciation. Now, anyone who knows
And what is
about
the spelling?
A N
Spelling of an
A N A double N
A-N?
I Hilatation. Yeah, it's a sort of psychodynamic theory. I hope you all read about the object relationship theory of psychodynamic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, yes. So you can relate. It's a sort of William Ronald theory where he described fear of annihilation is about death and height. We tend to have issues like
Yeah,
what if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
dying, or a sort of fear of height. That is what fear of annihilation is. Now, next is fear of mutilation. Now, mutilation is a fear of snakes and reptiles, crocodile, any sort of reptile or any sort of insects. If you all want, I can write it down also in the group, but I did not have the PPT. I won't say I did not because it's majorly with the somatic training and EFT one, so I did not include it in over here. Next is fear of shame. Now, fear of shame means people who have issues or people who have fear of getting humiliated, people who have guilt feeling. And Sheetal ma'am, can you say what sort of child who is from this shame background, like guilt feeling? Ma'am, mute. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Ma'am, scapegoat is there, I think, because
Yes.
the parents
Yes.
are blaming the children for this thing. Yes.
Yes, it's a scapegoat. Next is fear of and sorry, autonomy. Now, what exactly is autonomy? Is fear of restriction. What if I'm not being able to go out? What if I have to stop everything? Now, this fear of restriction is related with stress also. For example, marriage related stress. What if my in-laws does not permit me to work after marriage? What if I don't want to conceive a baby, but my in-laws wants to have a baby very soon, immediately after marriage? So that are the sort of restriction for autonomy. And next is fear of abandonment. That is fear of losing someone, fear of bereavement, fear of grief. That is what fear of abandonment is. These are the five sort of fear in which all fear comes up. Clear about what are the five sorts of fear, everyone?
Yes, clear, clear.
Okay. 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 So I hope what exactly is stress, what is fear, what is anxiety, clear with everyone? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, what can be the causes of stress? Now, stress can somewhat be related with internal factor as well as external factor also. It is not necessary that stress can only be due to our own figure. Like it can be that मेरे वजह से stress होगा. Yes, Neha.
Ma'am, can we say that stress direct us towards the fear and fear direct us towards the anxiety?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay. Fear of sorry. Causes of stress can be both external and internal also. How external? Fear of deadline. Like the moment the deadline has been given, it's not because of us, it's the office deadline. It can be some sort of relationship. It can be, for example, during the matrimonial, for those who are opting for arranged marriage, others are coming to see the bride or groom. Fear, like stress due to coming out. It's a sort of internal stress as well as external. How people coming out is generally for the queer community now. How would others react, and how would I be telling that whether I'm not fitted into this sort of spectrum? I am a asexual, I'm a pansexual. Now stress can be related with each and everything. There can be some sort of little trigger and you are bombarded with stress. And internal means where you are having a fight with your husband or with your partner each and every day. There is a conflict with your boss. You are telling something and your boss is interpreting something. You are having some sort of financial crisis. This is what internal is. External means someone else is giving you. Like for example, after marriage, definitely you all can see girls as well as like boys also. Ma'am, I don't want to conceive baby. I definitely I want to be a mother or I want to be a father, but after 2 years or after 3 years. But my in-laws, my mom and dad are pressuring me that oh, after immediately after marriage, start planning, family planning. It can also be a stress of if someone has been diagnosed with any sort of genetical disorder, chromosome disorder, the one who works with the genetics, HIV issues, like I have HIV or I have AIDS, how would I communicate? Clear about the causes of stress? Okay. Next is I explained what is anxiety and what is stress. Now, when I talk about stress, you can use any sort of modality. It would be within your hand, like within the grip of the therapist. But when I talk about anxiety, CBT is required. Without CBT, you can't. Or even if you want to take the history, why anxiety is there, what sort of anxiety disorder is there, definitely you need to talk about the inner child also as well as the past life. Past life doesn't mean the past wala, but his childhood, whether it's a genetic or not. Because genetic conditions, I would say genetic condition, but a sort of heredity plays an important role in all sort of psychiatric disorders. Clear? Okay. Next is type of stress. Now, before talking about type of stress, tell me whether stress is good or bad.
Ma'am, for some people,
Well, actually, good stress is both good and bad both. Positive
Okay.
is good and negative is bad.
Okay.
And
Positive
you
is
said in
good
the
for
class that no, sometimes we need a stress to do something good things in life. Because if we don't have any stress, so we can't do anything. That's why. So little bit
yes.
stress is good for that.
Okay. That is eustress. Is it?
for
Huh. Huh, Neha, tell me.
Ma'am, sometimes it happens that there are few people who work more nicely and more progress more in the condition of stress if they are having stress in that particular situation. Mostly in examination, I have seen that there are people
Yes.
who score more good if they are having stress about it.
Yes. 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 So, yes, stress are good. That to an optimum level. But if it is increasing too much, it's not good. Then we can't call it as stress. It's a burnout. I'll come what exactly is burnout. So, what is stress? Or sorry, what is distress? Any sort of negative stress in your life. Like example I have given only one, like unexpected death of family once. It can be a sort of divorce. It can be breakup. It can be someone is getting out termination of one's position. Anything which is negative. It and distress is not at all healthy for us. One of the most crucial time when people is going through the process of distress, we need to talk. Now talk matlab it's not that why we need to do CBT, cognitive restructuring. And eustress is something which is positive. Now positive means if someone is receiving every single day very good reviews, and that individual would be having some sort of pressure in the mind that I need to perform to that level so that I receive some other comments or other feedback from my team members. Getting married is a sort of eustress. Delivering a baby is a sort of eustress. But it's not, miscarriage is not a sort of eustress, it's a de-stress. Abortion is also a de-stress. Now definitely when individual, now when I work with the gynecologist and sex therapist, being an infertility counselor, I need to figure out whether it's a eustress or de-stress depending on the client's preference, whether it was my choice to abort my baby or whether it was the choice of my partner. If it is what if it is it was my choice, definitely it's a sort of eustress. But if it is was my partner's choice, then it's a de-stress for me. Miscarriage in any week can be a de-stress. Breaking of marriage, like शादी के 2 दिन पहले breaking up of that रिश्ता, it's a sort of de-stress. People commit suicide basically of de-stress. And due to e-stress, people tend to get promoted, both in terms of career and in terms of personal life. Clear? And what exactly is burnout? Now, when I talk about burnout, in stress means it's a sort of warning light. The moment the sort of stress has been gone, for example, if I talk about giving an exam, or if I say that after all the topics has been covered, I would be taking a sort of viva for everyone, that would be a sort of stress for everyone. That, what sort of question would Shraddhanjali ask? But the moment the exam or the moment the viva has been completed, stress would be going out. It would fly out. But if it is a sort of burnout, it is a non-stop process. I call it as where our mechanism stops working. My engine of that anxiety would be stopped. Not anxiety, but stress would be stopped. For burnout, we can't do CBT. For burnout, we can't do CBT. For burnout, we need mindfulness and we need art related therapies. And definitely, if it is a high level burnout, medicines are required. And in fact, due to burnout, there can be some sort of physiological issues. That the time I at least refer to some sort of medicines. Like not I don't refer, I ask the consultant, not the consultant, but the client to visit a physician for some sort of medicine. Generally, psychiatrist and physician, because for medicine. And if the client feels that no, I won't be going to a psychiatrist, better you can go to a physician. Medicine to वही देगा. Clear what is de-stress? Yes, Titika.
ম্যাম তাহলে কি আমরা এটা বলতে পারি যে ডিস্ট্রেস যখন বারবার হতে থাকে তখনই সেটা বার্ন আউটে পরিণত হয়?
হ্যাঁ, বলতে পারি.
আচ্ছা, এন্ড ম্যাম সরি ফর লেট জয়নিং.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I'll clear, like I had talked about some of the terminologies. I mean, shopta ho jak, I'll make it clear. Okay. Now, as I was talking, all stress are not at all bad. Now, for example, you all are coming up to the class. That is also a stress for you all. That I need to attend the class. Better, definitely, recording are available. You all know that. But it's better to attend the live classes so that you all can clarify the doubts. Then and there, you all can clarify. But if you all are watching the recording classes, definitely doubts would be getting cleared, but it would take a time, at least 1 day or 1 hour or 2 hours. But in live classes, what exactly is happening? You all can ask question, I would be giving you all the answer. So it's a sort of eustress. But if I talk about you are missing the class each and every day, then you are eating your fingers and you are taking up the nails like that is a sort of de-stress, a negative stress. Because you know then Shraddhanjali won't be clearing any doubt. For example. So stress are good. Like an optimum level of stress is highly required. Without stress, we can't perform. No one else. Like anyone of in the class, we won't be able to perform any sort of good thing in our life if we are not having that much of stress. But yes, higher level of stress is not required. For this, we talk about time management. Now I'll tell you a own story. My brother, he is a very quick catcher of everything. Like even before class 10, he used to read before 1 month and he was with 90%. And if I was going through studies every single month also, it was like 60% or max to max 70%. I was in a mediocre zone. So I thought of doing the technique what my brother used to do while I was doing my Montessori teachers training and nursery teachers training. So that the time we have to make big files of art applications and art therapies. I won't say therapies, but basically activities. So I kept on piling my work for 6 long months. And then I knew, okay, ho jayega. I would apply the technique of what my brother used to do. Then I remember it was 14th November when our teacher said us that by 20th November you all have to submit the 75 files combining both Montessori and your nursery teachers training. I was like, अरे बाप रे क्या होगा मेरे से? I also हाँ हो जाएगा. It was 17th November. I was also like, हो जाएगा. Then on 18th November, I sat with my projects. I sat with all my articles, everything. कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. Even I got 1 long month. Then also I could not complete at least 60 projects. And that is a result which I came up. Like I would say that is the result of me being piling up with the work because of the time management. हो जाएगा. Future. So, if we are going through this stress, we need to talk about the time management. And in stress and time management, there are a good workshop for corporates. They call up psychologists. It's not that corporate psychologist, definitely any sort of therapist they call up to talk about time management, how to manage time. And it would be difficult for every individual because our clocks are difficult. No, sorry, different body clocks. I get up at 6. It can be someone is getting up at 5. So 1 hour that individual is early to me. It can be someone is getting up at 4. I had so many clients in Gujarat and Rajasthan. They go get up at 4. I say, what the hell they do? So it's the body responses. And time management depend on your clock. Clock matlab is not ghari wala clock. It's your body clock. Clear till here? Okay. Okay. Now, before coming up to the stressors, I would talk about the flight, fright, freeze, and fawn mode. Anyone having any idea what is flight and fright mode? In stress, we generally have this. Okay. Yes.
Either we deal with it or we run away.
Okay. We deal with it or run away. What is freeze and fauna? Sneha, you wanted to say something there?
Yes, ma'am. Same response ma'am has told already.
Okay. Alpa ma'am gave my answer. Okay. Yes, as Alpa ma'am rightly mentioned, either we are freezing for that moment or we are running out. So that is what fight and flight. Fight means when we are having the power to face that situation. And flight means FLIGHT when we are running away from that situation. But if I talk about freeze moment or freeze response, that means we are completely freezing. For example, I had a client long back. It was a corporate session. Whenever she was in in any sort of stress, she used to stand over there and she used to pee out. That means she was almost 22 or 23 back that time. 2 to 3 years back. Like not 2 to 3 years before Corona. She had issues with freeze, like she had a inability to move. Freeze means where you are completely standing. Now, why? So one single day she had issues with cat. Whenever she used to see cat, she was like, "Arey mere se nahi hoga," and her body used to shiver like this. And at the time when suddenly in her corporate during in the canteen, she saw a cat. She was out and she was standing and she peed out. Like she passed away her urine in front of everyone. That is what freeze is. Freeze means you are completely freezing where you don't have the ability to move on. And fawn, FAWN, fawn means where you are pleasing someone not to have that conflict. For example, you are in a stress up situation. For example, in a corporate, you are seeing there is a fight between team A and team B, and you are from team A. So if you are showing fawn response, FAWN fawn response, You are pleasing team A and also pleasing team B because to avoid the conflict. And fawn response are generally related with childhood issues, childhood trauma. Now, in flight, what exactly is happening? You are running away. Now, any idea which like neurotransmitter is responsible for flight response? Anyone? Adrenaline hormone that is responsible for flight. FLIGHT. Clear what are the sort of four responses which we give in during the stress and anxiety? I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Uh, yes, Titika.
Ma'am, that third one not clear to me.
Third one, fight, flees, fauna, and flight, fight, freeze, and fauna. Which one?
Freeze.
Freeze means where you are freezing in that moment. You are not running out. You are not fighting also, but you are standing there. বরফের মতো জমে যাওয়া.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is the types of stressors. Now, this is not only limited to here, it can be more depending on the client. Now, the physical stressors. Now, definitely, why I had included genetics and immune disorder. Now, I am not a genetic counselor. For genetic counselor, you need to do some sort of genetic certificate so that you know about some sort of genetics issues. So, how all these sort of disorders can be a sort of stressors. Physiological stress means some sort of bodily stress. For example, today I know I am being diagnosed with HIV or I have HIV. No matter how modern I am, at the back of the mind, I'll be having that issue that I am diagnosed with HIV. Infertility, any sort of infertility, whether it's a primary infertility or whether it's a secondary infertility, I would be down with issue, like stress. Even if my partner is having that incapability to produce sperm, there is a low sperm count. That also comes under stresses. Anything and everything which can be related to our body. Chemical agents, physical agents, it can be some sort of hormonal dysfunction. PCOD, PCOS, people having PCOD and PCOS, they also have stress issues. Whether you are not sleeping or not, whether you are sleeping too much also, it can be, it's not that only insomnia, it can be hypersomnia also, that you are sleeping too much. Whether you are being provided with proper food or not, or proper nutrition or not. Anything and everything which is related with our body, which is being only manifested by our body itself. People having issues with trichotillomania, they have high issues with stress. People diagnosed or people wants to explore kink sexual position, but what if their partner is not wanting to? That is also a sort of physiological stress. For example, I am on my high libido when I explore the chair pose or the chair position or cat position. But my partner don't know what exactly is cat position even after training my partner after 10 plus time or 20 plus, no matter. That is also a type of physiological stressor. Clear what exactly are the physiological stressor?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Next is psychological stressor. Now, psychological is not only limited with whatever I wrote, it can be anything which has to do with our mental well being. For example, someone have died, grief, bereavement, divorce, people who have seen rape. How many of you have seen the recent case where the boy has committed suicide due to the wife? I forgot the name of the case. It's a very recent case. Neha, can you tell the name? I forgot what exactly was the name. Dehech wala.
Ma'am, are you talking about that Atul
Atul
Subhash
wala,
case?
yes, yes, Atul wala case. The moment when I saw that case, I was highly stressed out. And it was not burnout, definitely, but I was highly stressed out. If you all know about the Delhi Budhari case, anyone who knows about the Budhari case?
Little bit I know about it, that the whole
Okay.
family committed
Yes,
suicide.
yes. That is also a sort of stressor. If you all Google about the Burari case, it's a sort of shared psychosis. It's a sort of again a sort of psychological stressor. I remember the day I saw that case, I did not sleep for one long week. There are other rat case also. In Rajasthan, there was a case of rat case where rat is killing people. In Kolkata, if I talk about, there were so many cases like um, light man, stone man. These are highly cases where we tend to get stressed out. Or even if you are
And
not stressed, pandemic,
pandemic
yes,
was also the example of stress.
yes. Or it can be, if I talk about the external, you are not getting stressed, but your family is in this position of getting stressed out. For that reason, you are also getting stressed. Divorce in
Ma'am,
family. Huh?
I
Yes, please.
remember during pandemic, there was one of my uncle who was not well at that time, and he was on ventilator. I was not that much close with him, but I was really much stressed about that particular instant because everything around us is happening like that only. That someone is passing away and someone is on ventilator. Such kind of news are being the stressful environment.
Yes. Even if your in-laws are in hospital, not living in-laws, your extended family, you are not having a that good rapport. But still you would be in a position of getting stressed. Is it clear what are the psychological issues or stress?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what can trigger stress? Now, for example, if I talk about my own case, I had divorce. I said you all in the last class. The moment I hear about marriage, I would be getting a sort of trigger. What if, again, I'm going through that process of divorce? Again, it's a sort of what if. It's again not a stress, but anxiety more. Mostly anxiety. Marriage. Those who have gone through the Shadi Ki Laddu wala case, they would be relating to this. The moment they are being, for example, in Mica, they can sleep up to 8 p.m., 8 a.m. also. But the moment they are getting married, they have such huge responsibility in their shoulder, no matter whether it's a male or female. For example, anyone have heard about the surgeries, SRS, sex reassignment surgeries? Okay. What generally it happens, for example, I am born as a girl and I have issues, I have dysphoria with my body. I like to be a boy. The moment I would be thinking about SRS, I can get trigger. If I had certain issues with seizures, with OT, with the beds, anything related to hospital. Miscarriage. The moment I had a miscarriage, now conceiving a baby, I would get triggered. That what if again my baby is getting lost due to some issue? It can be anything. Any sort of disaster, like the sort of, I would call the pandemic as a disaster itself. Every single day we tend to get that what if again a sort of pandemic is coming and eating our life. The one with the cyclone, कभी कभार हम लोग के इधर पे cyclone हो जाता है. Like what was the name of the recent cyclone which it happened? I forgot. But any sort of disaster. It can also be people coming up from army background. Every single day they have a issue or they have a trigger that whether my husband is going to come back alive or not. Anything can trigger an individual. Definitely we have to ask why do you feel so? And also, when I talk about trigger, it's not that the client would be talking very reluctant in telling about that, yeah, this is my trigger. Because most of the time, the client don't know what is the exact trigger. That the time we can use art and color. Like if you know color psychology, whether the client is using red color, whether the client is using black color, we definitely keep an eye on that. Then financial pressures, definitely if someone is going through some sort of financial crisis, that individual, even if that individual is right now in that state of stability, that individual can get triggered by hearing stories. It's not only that I have to be in that situation or the client have to be in that situation. Listening to stories also can trigger you. Today in the morning, I remember it was 6 a.m. in the morning, and one of my friend called me and she was crying. I was like, what the hell? Why did you call me at 6? She was like, Shraddhanjali, today is my divorce. I am going to opt for divorce and today is the final hearing. My slip went out. I went out. I was getting a trigger. And it was, I wouldn't say a trigger, but it was a sort of panic which I got. Because I have gone through that phase, that similar phase. So it's not only that the client have to go through that phase. It can be the client can hear something and can relocate or reoriented with that client story and be in the position of getting triggered. People getting married at a very early age or prostitutes. Even there are so many prostitute or sex worker who have issues with getting triggered, but they are uh, okay, Neha. Okay, sure. So I had a case, and she was a sex worker. She is a renowned sex worker in Kolkata. She is highly beautiful. She said me once that Shraddhanjali, people thinks that we came up here only for the sake of earning money. Definitely yes, to support our parents or to support our family. But there are some sex worker who came just to explore how many sort of penis are there. And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. She explained me that there are so many sex workers, particularly at the age of 20, like from the age of 20 to 30, they come up to this vault. I would say it's a vault or a community to explore more about sexual positions and about the penis. It's not only that they are coming or they are being brought over there. So this was also a trigger for me, or even a trigger for that individual also, like that sex worker. I'm not naming her because she has been being visited TED Talks in Kolkata many a times and also in the Delhi TED Talks, and hence everyone can relate. So I'm not taking her name, but she said me. So trigger can be anything and everything. For some individual, trigger can be this little. For some individual, trigger can be this big. Now you can say that suddenly increased responsibility, how it can be a trigger. For example, when I got married, I shifted off to Guwahati with my husband because he was being there. Now I did not have any such responsibility because hum dono hi the. Now whenever I thought of coming back to my in-laws, I was pretty happy to stay with them. But my in-laws they had a thought opinion or they had a thought process that घर का लड़की और बहू जो भी होगा, they have to get up early in the morning, that is between 4:30 to 5. That was a sort of responsibility for me. But for most of us, getting up at 4 also, it's not a big deal. Because I have seen my mother, she gets up at 3:30, she leaves the bed at 4 and she's out. Because she would be doing yoga and all. So for that reason. So all the things which I've written over here, it's not only limited to that, but again, it can be a cause of trigger for some, it can't be a cause of trigger for some. It only depends on how you are observing, your own perception. Clear about the stressor triggers?
Yes, clear, ma'am.
Okay. Neha, you wanted to say something? You can. Okay, I think she's not audible. Okay. Next is what are the management or what are the ways we can help the client. So there are so many ways we can help the client. So the very first way is relaxation or the mindfulness based stress relaxation technique. Now over here, at least I use a figure of mindful eating. Now, what exactly is mindful eating? Now, if I talk about, I don't have any eatable thing over here. Let me talk about my coffee only. Whenever I have my coffee or whenever anyone have, they don't pin out that okay, this the taste of the coffee is this, the texture of the coffee is this. But if I talk about mindful eating, the moment you are taking a bite, you are not going to eat in a very hurry moment. You are going to chew that. You are going to realize what are the things which is getting stuck in your eats, like teeth. How you are feeling. What are the things you can recollect? For example, most of us have our dinner, lunch, maximum to maximum 15 minutes, within 15 minutes. But mindful eating takes up to 20 to 30 minutes, or even can be more. Because we keep on thinking about what all other things we can relate with that. A basic sort of mindfulness, scanning our whole body, or finger scanning, or it can be a sort of thigh scanning, anywhere. When I am stressed, I feel stressed over here, so it can be I am scanning my chest. People are there who feel stress in their thighs, who feel stress in their shoulders. Anywhere wherever they feel stressed out, they can scan. Now, what is scanning? It's not that we are going or we are buying some sort of machine. For example, this is my hand, and if I feel my stress with my other palm, I would be rubbing my hand, and in a very gentle way. It's not that we are going to rub like this, but in a very gentle way. This is what mindfulness means. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Next is time management. Now, for time management, we use the process of SMART goals. Now, any idea what is SMART? SMAT? Okay. Smart SMAT means is for specific. Now we talk about a very specific time. It's not that within 2 years or within 5 years. It has to be very small, specific time. At least I do it in this way because there are so many clients. If I talk about that, make your routine for the next 1 week, most of my client can't do. Even at a elderly time also, like 42, yeah, he was 42 or 45. Within that also they are like, ek din ka routine can I set up? So what I do is I do a smart goal technique. S means specific. You have to be very specific. M means measurable, where you can measure the time or you can measure your goal. A means attainable, because there are so many clients who says, I want to visit that. It can be any place or anywhere. But I have to make the client understand, or we have to make the client understand whether it permits your pocket or not. If it is not permitting your pocket, तो सपने देखना छोड़ो ना. You have to be very specific. That okay, I want to attend for the next 1 week. I want to do this. Yeah, definitely. If it is attainable, I would be doing. If I think that okay, for the next 1 week, I am going to launch three big courses for one long week, and yes, then I would be in a mess up because I have to give time, at least 2 hours or 1 hour 30 minutes. I have to make some sort of PPTs. I have to curate the content. वो नहीं होगा. So I have to be very specific. What is the exact thing I want to launch? Okay, I want to launch a course on this. Then is measure. Can I measure that? Within how many duration I'm going to complete that? 1 week, 2 week, 10 days, whether I can measure. A means attainable. Whether the goal, what I have said, that within next 10 days I am launching this, whether can I attain or not. Again, this attainable depend on my mental stability also. R means reliable. Whether I can rely on whatever things I did it. SMA wala factor. And T means time bound. When I said I am going to be very specific, that means 10 days, it would be 10 days only. It can't be 12 days or 11 days. I have to be very time bound. And there are so many clients who say, I'm not being able to understand. Then I provide a worksheet where your big goals, your small goals. Now, small goals, why I'm talking about small goals, it's not always big goals, which makes us stressed out. Chota chota goal can also be made out, and then we can attain a big goal. For example, create a routine for next 2 days. So it could be only for 2 days. I'm not talking about 7 days. Again next 2 days. Again next 2 day. But if I ask the client to make a routine for next 14 days, definitely the client won't be able to do. And it won't be very attainable for the client. Time bound छोड़ ही देते हैं. So पहले we focus on very small things. And after each goal, whatever have been attended, I ask the client to pat on the back so that the client gets appreciated from himself itself. It's not always that everybody is appreciating that, Ari, you did a good job. It can be I am appreciating my own success. And I ask the client to use a power of gifting something to himself. It can be a pen, it can be a spa, anything, whatever my pocket permits. If I think about that today, I'm going to buy a diamond jewelry. नहीं होगा मेरे से. So it can be today after coming back to my home, I won't receive any call. Rather, I would be watching a film, or rather, I sit and draw something, anything. But giving time to own self after attaining a small goal or after attaining a big goal. That is what time management is. Clear time management? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is building a support system. Now, over here, what exactly we do? We ask the family member to help the client. Now, how the client would be helped by the family member to support them? Because the client, for example, I'm a psychologist. I know my mom is also a psychologist. Not a psychologist, but criminal wala psychologist. But my father is not a psychologist. So even if I'm doing a good job, my mother can support me, but not my father, because she don't have any idea what is psychology. So how my father can help me or be my support system? My father would be appreciating me. That, Ari, you did a good job. I did not think it. So a sort of positive affirmation from the family members. And right now there are so many Facebook groups which offer a sort of support system. So I don't ask my client to go for that Facebook support group, because udhar pe it's like people tend to share their negative stories also, and the client can get triggered. So I ask the family members to support my client, whoever the client is. And now there can be many family members who are not at all supportive. For them, what I do, I ask the client to play the role of other person. For example, I know my mom won't be supporting me. So I am the client, I am the mother. I am doing something what as if my mother is supporting me. Shradhanjali, you did a good job. So a sort of role play. Clear building a support system?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is lifestyle. Now, as I said, you as a therapist, we have to help the client to change the lifestyle also. Now, if I talk about lifestyle, means right now, if I talk about that Gen Z wala lifestyle, they have a very good lifestyle. Wow, super. They'll get up at 10 in the morning. I have a client, and hence I can say not one, but more than 50 plus, because I'm working with the school setup also. Gen Z, I came to know them from them also only that, ma'am, we are Gen Z wala feeling. So what is their lifestyle? They are getting up during the holidays. They are getting up at 10, 11, no matter. Then they are sitting, they are having a cup of tea or something, whatever, bed tea. Basically a sort of bed tea. After that, Netflix, Hoster, no brushing, nothing. No having a bath also. Now what are they? They are applying some sort of, what is that called? Marks and everything to have a Korean wala skin. Now if they have some sort of gupshup in their Facebook, in WhatsApp with conference and blah, blah, blah. Making the phone charge or keeping the phone in charging mode, wearing a dress, party, hardcore party. And they said me that Shraddhanjali, we need to do a hardcore party. I said, what is that hardcore party? One of my students, she said me, hardcore party means from this pub to this pub to that pub, like roaming in all the pubs and drinking something. I said, what drinking? What you all drink? Cold drinks? No, no, it's Bargedi or Bugatti something. I said, what is that? Hotkey, what something they uttered, that is a sort of cocktail, not mocktail, cocktail. So this is the lifestyle. Now, definitely they would be getting up, ending up in their life in a mess. Now, I said about this one case is because this student they are coming to me for lifestyle modification. We definitely know about behavior modification, but idhar pe I'm doing lifestyle modification. Because every single day, this is only the life. And yeah, one more thing, they don't sleep in the night. They go to sleep in the bed like 4:35 when everyone, like when we are getting up from sleep, they are going for sleeping because whole night they are doing chit chat. And right now, sexual like porn addiction is on the peak. I'm not saying that seeing porn is a bad thing. It's definitely a healthy way. But expecting too much is definitely a bad thing. Today itself, I remember at 3 in the afternoon, one of our students said me, Shraddhanjali, I want my girlfriend to do this sort of sex with me. I said, what sort of sex you want? And he came up with so many videos. I was like, do you know that they are being injected with injection to have that sort of stamina? And he said, no, no, ऐसा नहीं होता है. I said, I'll show you. Because when an individual is performing sexual activity with other partner, it's max to max within 10 minutes everything comes down. But in pornography, what is being showing? One man is coming, other one is coming, other one is coming. A sort of huge story has been made. But their editing portions are there. But we are not seeing that side. Not we, but the Gen Z wala factor. So basically, this lifestyle modification are only for Gen Z's story. फेसबुक पे लाइव ईच एंड एवरी डे नीड टू डू लाइव कुछ भी पार्टी होना है तो दे नीड अ ड्रेस now dress doesn't mean salwar suit or sari, a sort of short dresses. I even don't know the name and they says me all the name. Conference call at the highest peak every single day. My student, she is in class 10, she says me, Shraddhanjali, I need to have conference call with my boyfriends. I said, how many boyfriends do you have? It's 14, only 14. I said, are baapre, 14 and only 14, what is that? I said, do everyone knows each other? All are my classmate only. I said, they are your classmate. That means, no, I had healthy sexual relationship. And she said me, I had healthy sexual relationship with my boyfriend. I said, okay, healthy sexual relationship. Then I asked, with all the 14 classmates? She said, yes. And I was like, in looks se nahi hoga. So this is the choices they are making. And also the parents are also responsible because today if someone, we are speaking up to 12, 1 in the night, our parents were like, what you are doing? No, we are sleeping. But right now the parents are also tired up due to so many things they have in their bucket. So over here we need to do lifestyle modification, and please mark my word, it's pretty difficult. It's not at all easy. Because the moment this boy today in the 3, he said me, Shraddhanjali, I need to perform this sort of sex with my girlfriend. I was like, nahi hoga bhai tumse. Because aisa nahi hota hai. And he did not have a reality check. He said, he in fact said me and showed me a picture where he brought some sort of vibrator for his girlfriend. And I was like, Hare baap re. Condom, chocolate condom, strawberry condom, everything. I said, where your girlfriend stays? Beside my house. I said, your girlfriend don't have the parents? No, parents are in Jharkhand. Parents are staying there, girlfriend is staying here with some sort of aunt, and hence she can do everything because because auntie is also busy. We need to understand. So changing the lifestyle, particularly for this generation, is pretty difficult. At times we as a therapist also, we are like, अरे बाप रे अभी तुम जाओ, I am refunding you the money, अभी तुम जाओ, मेरे से नहीं होगा. And at times I do it. I won't lie. At times I'm like, I whenever I get pissed off, I ask that please take a refund, go to other therapist. I am not a perfect fit because it's pretty difficult to give up them a reality check. He brought one vibrator, one delta, like delta is a sort of penis, and I said, "What you are going to do?" And he gave me a long list of explanation. And this client has been referred to me by the school itself. School teachers are getting like fed up with all this feelings because they know that this is not the correct thing. But Abhi, we need to talk. It's a high time. Getting aware is good. Definitely, we need to make them aware that these are the things. But getting that in that shoe, it's pretty difficult. And then if a sort of kink preference client is coming, again, I won't say kink wala is very difficult. It's not at all difficult, but changing the lifestyle is difficult. That I want to perform sexual activity right now with my partner. My partner is in the office. How can my partner come and have sexual intimacy with me? Definitely, we need to change the life system. And yes, alcohol over here is a huge cut. It's not that I'm talking that we have to cut off alcohol or cigarette. We have to change the life. Like for example, if you are taking alcohol every single Monday or any other day, change the pattern and change the situation, or cut it down from 2 pegs or 5 peg. Cut it down to 1 peg. Clear about healthy lifestyle? Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
okay, so this was it. Neha, ma'am, you can tell what you wanted to share. And I'll share, okay, I have shared, but I'll share few of our worksheets for this, for stress. Okay. Neha, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can share.
Ma'am, actually, yesterday I was watching one series in which there was one situation in which the actress' father got expired. So I was just recalling and just getting to know कि अच्छा अब now this stage is going on, this stage of grief is going on. So I just wanted to share about that. So
Yes, we tend to relate to everything. I understand.
so in the starting of that phase, she was having depression as I have analyzed that she
Hmm.
was feeling sad, she was like hopeless, and she was not talking to anybody at that particular moment. After getting to know about it, she just uh, locked herself in the room and not talking to somebody. After that, she was in the bargaining stage where she was asking the question that my grandfather got expired when my father was at the age of 40, and why did this happen with me in so early age? So can we call this as a bargaining
Bargain.
stage?
Yes, yes.
And after that, she was in a stage of denial that she was working in a technology company where she used to made an apps. So she made an app in which she can talk to her father that who is not alive. She has collected all the voice messages and everything to create that particular voice, that if she will talk to that she will talk to his father in a way that she is talking to him in a live way, that if she's sending any voice message, they can respond to that in that particular voice. So she was in that denial, she was not able to believe, and she was just compensating with that particular thing. So can we call this as a denial stage?
Yes, yes, yes. Now the
and
thing, yes, yes, ma'am, tell me.
and after that, she was having that anger and frustration because everyone is saying that this will affect your mental health if you keep doing like that, talking to him through this particular app.
Yes. I'll tell you one short case. When I did my parapsychology training with Gaurav sir, I hope you all know Gaurav Tiwari. So I did my parapsychology training from him itself, and I was quite lucky. So the thing which you said, like talking to someone who is not alive, that the time I did not believe, and it has been in this year, me wala thing, when one of my like in my society, one of a family, full family, they committed suicide. It was a family member of 22 or 23, something of that, like more than 20, less than 30. All of them committed suicide in a same manner and in 1 week itself. So only their one relative was alive when he she came to this home, and she did something and we were not aware what exactly she was doing. So recently, like last Monday, one of our relative, not relative, neighborhood, they discovered that she practices some sort of black magic, where every night between 12 to 2, like at that time period, she calls their spirits and she communicates with them, because she feels that they have not committed suicide, rather than they have been murdered. And it's a very horrifying case, because every single day whenever I'm in my roof I can see that place and I get triggered on. But ऐसा होता है, because when I was working with Gaurav sir said me that yeah, ऐसा होता है, because there is a feeling that no, this individual did not commit suicide, or they have been murdered. For this sort of, it's not a planchet wala feeling, but this sort of thing happens, and every single night, Thursday or Tuesday, I forgot, either Thursday or Tuesday, tea wala deti the, she takes blood, like she slits of the wrist and she takes blood and she does some sort of like things, and she calls the bunny like ladki, like big daughter of the family, and she was almost 52 or 51, like more. Now every day, whenever at night, today I would be going and exploring with my family, not my whole family, but me and my brother, mostly from our neighbor, that what exactly she does, like from 12 to 2. क्या होता है? Today we are on the verge, and when I became a parapsychologist, at that time Gaurav sir sent me, Shraddhanjali, whenever you are visiting any sort of haunted place, or you want to explore, or you want to know about all these sort of things, please don't open your ear, close your ear, tie a pin, because negative energy channelizes from your ear itself. Not only for me but for every single individual. So today itself I would be going, as you said, that she communicates with the father with the voices, because the baju wala jo ghar hai, they say every single day they listen so many voices and they feel that all the family members are alive. And it's not even 5 minutes, like 3, 4, 5 hands distance from my place. So every single night, like from 12 to 2, so today we all have, like from 20 to 31, we have discovered that हम लोग आज जाएंगे to figure out what does she really does, so that we can come up and we can make a documentary, because over here we have Anindya. She makes so many documentary film and she have a good connection with Netflix wala channel and everything. So we are planning to do that, but we need to explore more on that. But it's very relatable because it's having a connection with para feeling also, like parapsychology wala thing.
Ma'am, it I find it very horrifying. How would you do that?
I don't get, like I don't have any issues with going out, because I firstly I used to believe in ghost and everything, but believe me, when I was in Guwahati, it was for 1 year. I used to stay there alone, and beside my flat or beside my apartment, there was a morgue, and every single day I can see people coming up, people burning bodies, and I used to go there. In Kolkata also, when I did my internship, then I talked with the doctor that I need to do night shift. कौन सा नाम, like what name, Sneha?
When the one ma'am is explaining the last night before that one.
It's a sort of para feeling. Para, Para. So
No ma'am, if it's movie or something, so I was asking for the name of that movie, or is it series or anything?
Okay, I was watching Mismatched series. It was just a particular part of that movie that this incident happened, from where I have related.
so it's something. See, if you believe in ghost, if you believe in God, it's something that only. Though I don't believe in ghost, neither I do believe in God, but I like to explore more, because it's just more on the part of psychokinesis. People thinks, but it's not psychokinesis. What exactly is para is, people tend to believe in all these sort of things like voodoo, shamanism. People have a belief that yeah, I can do some sort of bad to that people, and they perform voodoo, ritualistic of voodoo. I have seen in Guwahati, I have seen in my in-laws, they perform voodoo every single Saturday, and they have a pattern. I had my very own friend, like she, after her breakup, she did not perform voodoo, but similar sort of voodoo she did it. What she used to do is, whenever she was on her cycle of menstruation, second and third day, she used to, and she was a extension artist and a beauty, she owned a beauty parlor. It's not one, two, three, four, like more than four. Now she had big nails, sort of demon wala nails. So what she used to do is that she used to take out blood from the vagina, and after her breakup with her boyfriend, she used to take up the picture, and she had the picture with this finger, like with the ring finger. She used to pour the blood in the face of the, like in the photo, definitely in the face of the boyfriend, and she used to chant some sort of mantra. Definitely her hairs were open, and she had some sort of curling hair, and then from the back, that is from this portion, she used to tear one of the hair, and she used to tie it with the picture. And then, like tight matlab, she used to roll the picture along with the blood, period blood, and then she used to tear one hair, she used to again roll it, again one hair, like at least 2 to 3 times she used to roll it. And next morning, that is the fourth day of her menstruation, she used to take the two picture, like one from second day and one from third day, and on the fourth day she used to give that picture in the water, like in the free flowing water. And then I realized what that she used to do is that she used to try to capture, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, black magic, she used to perform that. And I remember within 20 days her boyfriend died, and it was not a very natural one, it was a very unnatural death. Yes, Neha ma'am.
Ma'am, there are cases in which we find that that a person is having schizophrenia, if they are having the hallucinations, and if they are having that kind of behavioral responses or symptoms. So, how can we get to know that black magic is existing or some kind of psychotic symptoms they are having?
They would be talking. Honestly, I have dealt with so many people, psychotic cases, where mostly most of the people talk about black magics. They talk about ऐसा होता है. They believe in numerology mostly. They would talk. But if some sort of hallucination is happening, it's okay. But hallucination or psychotic feature along with black magic, that is not normal. In Kolkata, there were many cases. Now, if you Google or if you talk about the statistics, Kolkata is highest in black magic. Then comes Delhi and Bombay.
So, how can we recognize that, matlab, particularly like
They
they are
would be
having this?
portraying some sort of behavior. In fact, in my session, offline session, only one of a girl, she had issues, and she said she was being possessed by a snake. And every single day, whenever she used to come, she used to do like this. She used to get up on the table, like she used to do like this. She used to get up, and she used to do like this. So she had, like, the clinical psychologist gave a diagnosis of schizophrenia. But again, when I was taking the paranormal case history of her, I found she was being, like, it's not that I found, my whole team, Gaurav sir was also there alive that time. Uh, Majorly, people won't believe, but she was being possessed, definitely. But after that, she also committed suicide. Now, this sort of individual, they portrays behavior that agar this can happen, and they would talk about black magic to that level that we as a paratherapist or parapsychologist, we also don't know. Like, I have so many cases of demons, of, no, abnormal, I won't say abnormal, but some sort of psychic feeling. So it's pretty clear. If you are taking up like psychotic cases, you can see only hallucination, delusion. It's pretty evident. But if a combination of parawala feeling is also there, they would talk about black magic more. And not only in psychotic cases, in neurotic cases also people talk. People talks in general also. Like the voodoo wala case, my in-laws, they used to perform. And then they used to say, after, I remember after my divorce, they said me, I'm going to give you the possession and everything. Luckily, I took the preventive measure. But also, if you believe in zodiac signs, the people who are light spectrum on the zodiac sign, they tend to catch up more negative things. But preventive measures are there, because I work in a diverse field, and hence I won't say I believe, but somewhere zodiac wala strength, I believe, like strength and weaknesses, but not of this possession and everything.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Titika.
আচ্ছা ম্যাম, তাহলে যদি কারোর উপর ব্ল্যাক ম্যাজিক করা হয়, তাহলে আমরা সেক্ষেত্রে তাকে সাইকোলজি মানে কি ধরনের সাইকোলজিস্টের কাছে তাকে নিয়ে যাব? ইজ ইট প্যারাসাইকোলজিস্ট?
ব্ল্যাক ম্যাজিক করা হয়ে গেলে আর কিছু হবে না, উই কান্ট ডু এনিথিং।
ওকে।
মানে if you want to explore what exactly people want, because in parapsychology we have a different format of case record which is not similar whatever we take up in general counseling or therapy sessions. For parapsychologists we have completely different, which has been curated by our Gaurav sir, and that
ওকে।
has been given a copyright. তো কোনোটা ওটা যে ব্ল্যাক ম্যাজিক হয়ে গেল ফর এক্সাম্পল আমার উপর আমার কাছে নিয়ে আসলো, এটা হয় না। জেনারেলি ইন দ্যাট কেসেস উই রেফার টু সাম সর্ট অফ সাইকিক activist. I won't say activist, but more of a researcher. That exactly কি হয়েছে, to figure out what exactly is that possession has been done or not, for that reason only. But after possession has been done, psychologists cannot, no one can help.
ওকে ম্যাম, ভয় লেগে যাচ্ছে।
Okay. Any other questions?
Ma'am, actually, I wanted to ask the time management. You said about the smart, वो जो आपने break down किया उसको by single alphabet. So the second one measure limit and the last one time bound. What is the major difference between them? Because both are related to time management. So,
Okay. So measure matlab you can measure the duration. For example, if I say for the next 1 day, 1 week, 10 days, 20 days, or 1 month, you can measure. But if I talk about for next 365 days, कुछ भी हो सकता है 365 days. I can get a heart cardiac arrest, I can commit suicide, I can die, I can get murdered, कुछ भी, even I can be raped or I can be molested. So 365 days is not a thing I can measure. Measurement happens within a time frame of 1 month, maximum 2 months. But when I talk about SMART, time bound means I am following that time. I am not doing before that also, after that also. For example, 10 days, it has to be 10 days. It can't be 11 days or 9 days.
okay, ma'am. Thank you. Got it. Thanks.
Okay, any other doubt?
No, ma'am.
I believe no doubt. Okay, Akanksha, you can close the recording. And all the recordings are there in the group description. There is a drive which contain 2 folders.